Born on October 5, 1902 in Oak Park, Illinois, Raymond Ray Kroc was the eldest son of Louis and Rosemary Kroc. His father Louis was originally from a village in Bohemia and was known for his attitude of discipline. He worked at Western Union, a telegraph company, and made his way up the ranks in the company. Ray's mother, Rosemary, on the other hand, was born and bred in Illinois. While she was an affectionate housewife, she also had a flair for playing the piano and used it to earn money by giving lessons to adults and children alike. Ray also had two other siblings younger than him, who were named Lorraine and Robert. Growing up, Ray had very different interests from Robert, and the two never really talked to each other at all. This was because where Robert was a serious student, Ray was a dreamer. He would often think up novel schemes and ridiculously elaborate plans to support them, which eventually earned him the nickname Danny Daydreamer. However, despite their differences and disagreements, the two siblings would eventually get along later in life. Right from his childhood, Ray displayed quite a bit of confidence and determination, traits he learned from his father, and was a hardworking and intelligent boy. During his studies in Lincoln School in Oak Park, he found that he had a knack for easily convincing people, and so he won many literary debates he participated in. The young boy did not stop there. In a bid to earn some extra cash while still in school, Ray worked odd jobs at groceries and drugstores, and even opened a lemonade stand right outside his house. It was these first experiences that opened Ray's eyes to the world of food business and taught him that the world was a huge place to sell to. But that wasn't all. When Ray was 14 years old in 1916, he opened a music store along with his two friends, which they named Ray Kroc Music Emporium. The young entrepreneur used the store to sell sheet music while he played the piano, something he'd learned from his mother. Unfortunately, after only a few months, they were forced to close down the store. For the next few months, Ray worked behind the soda fountain in his uncle's grocery store, and it was here he truly began to hone his skills in salesmanship. He learned that a little enthusiasm and a smile could convince a person to purchase more than they intended to, a talent that would prove useful to him throughout his career. At the end of his sophomore year in 1917, Ray decided to serve as an ambulance driver in the army for the ongoing World War I. But because he was too young, just 15 years old, he was ejected as ineligible for the role. However, young Ray was determined to do his part and serve on the front lines, so he lied about his age and managed to join the American Red Cross. He was transferred to Connecticut to undergo training, and it was there that he met Walt Disney, a fellow trainee like him. Theirs was a relationship that would eventually span most of Ray's adult life. Ray was to be sent to France, but alas, the war ended before that could happen. And so young Ray made his way back home, where his father convinced him to return to Lincoln School to finish his studies. But now, Ray was itching for greater things. He realized that he had no patience for school, and he was brimming with new ideas, ready to launch them out in the real world to earn a living for himself. So, he dropped out of school. For a while, the 17-year-old dabbled in a number of career options, from earning money as a nightclub pianist, working at a local radio station as a DJ, selling anything from female accessories to real estate in Fort Lauderdale, and even tried his hand on the American Stock Exchange in New York City, where he read ticker tapes and translated symbols. Eventually, 4 years later, he found a stable job at Lily Tulip Paper Cup Company as a salesman. Being the hardworking and ambitious person that he was, Ray traveled across the company selling his company's paper cups. He went the extra mile by caring for his customers' needs and always keeping in touch with them. It wasn't long before he became the top salesman in the company. Ray soon married Ethel Fleming, his high school sweetheart, in 1922. The couple would birth a daughter named Marilyn, but the marriage only lasted until 1961, when the couple divorced. During one of his sales journeys in 1938, Ray happened to meet a man named Earl Prince, who had just invented the machine called a multi-mixer. This machine was technically a milkshake mixer, which could churn out 5 milkshakes at a time, compared to the commonly known machines which could only churn out 1 milkshake at a time. By this time, Ray had already spent 16 years at the Lily Tulip Company, and he was looking for a challenge. The businessman in him became enchanted by the efficiency and speed of the machine and realized immediately the great potential of the multi-mixer. He could certainly tell a cash cow when he saw one, and he promptly got the marketing rights for it. He left his job at the paper cup company without any second thoughts and created Prince Castle Sales. Ray then spent the next decade, from the early 1940s, peddling the mixers to restaurants and soda fountain owners alike. At first, the response was encouraging. In a good year, he'd sell about 8,000 mixers. But soon priorities began to shift, and his customers, mainly the restaurant and soda fountain owners in the big cities, began to lose sales, which adversely affected him as well. To make matters worse, the Hamilton Beach drink mixers became incredibly fierce competitors. By 1954, the situation had turned rather grim, but Ray realized that a particular restaurant continued to order large quantities of his mixers. His curiosity piqued. Ray decided to pay the restaurant a visit in San Bernardino, but to his surprise, it was no regular restaurant. It was run by two brothers, Morris and Richard McDonald, and instead of the usual sit and dine style, they employed an assembly line style that allowed them to sell large quantities of their limited menus of hamburgers, fries, cheeseburgers, milkshakes and drinks in a short period of time, and their sales were so big that it took 8 of Ray's mixers to keep up with the flow of customers. Ray's salesman sense began to tingle. Immediately, he dreamed of a chain of McDonald's restaurants, each using about 8 of his mixers. There was no time to waste. He rushed to the brothers and made them an offer, but they weren't interested. Ray would not be deterred. Eventually, he smooth-talked his way into getting the brothers to give him exclusive rights to sell their restaurant model. By this time, Ray was diabetic and arthritic at 52, but he wasn't about to let this opportunity go. So he opened his first restaurant in Des Plaines, Illinois in the early 1955, and by the end of the year, 2 more stores had joined the list. With gross sales of at least $235,000, soon Ray, ever the salesman, started selling the franchises and collected 1.9% of their gross sales. By the end of the 1950s, the McDonald name had grown into something bigger than Ray could have ever imagined. Unfortunately, this also meant clashes with the 2 brothers who weren't happy with the changes that Ray was adding to the business. So in 1961, after lots of disagreements, Ray bought McDonald's from the brothers for $2.7 million in cash. And that was how he went from paper cup seller to the man who revolutionized the fast food industry by sheer determination and his ability to recognize money-making opportunities. Thank you very much for watching our videos. We'd like to give you another interesting video for you to enjoy next. But before then, our team will be very happy if you can like this video and share it with your friends on social media. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss other interesting videos like this. Look at your screen now to see 2 other interesting videos we handpicked for you to enjoy next. We love you.